Morning, D-Bay Con.
Yeah.
I used to be in D-Bay
Did you?
years ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
Oh, truly.
Yeah,
You're still local, you're still living in the area.
I come and I go.
Do you, mate?
Yes, I just
Yeah.
came back.
You travel a bit.
Yeah, I'm quite transient, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
It's nice to get out and enjoy a bit of the view around and about.
well, I love the photography.
Yeah.
I love the waterfront.
Good on ya.
Two good combinations.
Yeah,
It's peaceful.
I've been part of it for like 10 years now.
It's a
But
long time.
yeah, well, every time I try to come back, things I hear or things that I feel tend to jump in the way. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm a feminist. I have no issues with the LGBT
Yeah.
people. And I have one thing that's really made it hard for me is the everything that's been happening with the child abuse and that,
Yes.
the ARC and that how the governing body
Yeah.
is doing all they can to actually hide this and prevent things.
Do you know, I'm very much of a similar mindset. I actually work in mental health,
Okay.
very strong in protecting children, women. I was very heartened by the way the government went through everything like it did. I'll tell you something that I was quietly sitting back watching because the Bible, Jehovah actually says that the judgment would start with his own house. And when I look back in history, you know, even with Israel, when Jehovah was ready to judge nations, he started with the Israelites and went through them first. He's no hypocrite, our God, you know, and I just love that he is really putting everything under pressure right now. But you know, I see something happening. I can see people who really love what's right. They're really getting into it, they're moving along. You can see that Jehovah's really starting to identify his standards and purifying. And then anyone who's not flowing with that, they're just not fitting. And the pressure's on. You can see the judgment started with his house.
But that's the governing body that's not fitting.
Well, the policies have changed. You know, 10 years, you may have been out of it. I'm
Yeah,
speaking from someone who is watching in a very hands-on way.
Yeah, have you heard about what they've been doing for almost 2 years in America? There was a case back in 2016 where this young bloke was actually awarded $13.5 million. During it, they discovered that apparently 1997, I think, there was from then the congregations, because letters are leaked to people. There's a database. There's about 24,000 names of pedophiles. They were ordered to the organisation was ordered to hand over the database. They said that would take too long, years. Then when the prosecution brought out their own software person and said that it'd only take about 2 days, they then handed over like 5,000 names heavily redacted, which turns out that it was not allowed. They've been paying $4,000 a day to not hand over the names. A court order, and they're being given a fine of $4,000 a day until they pay.
Can I ask where you got your information, matey?
It's court documents. You
Yeah.
can look it up online.
Because I was very interested in the findings of the
Royal
of
Commission?
what they did here.
Yeah, you can get that on the site.
Yeah, I
I
loved
mean-
it. I actually downloaded it because it's in
Me
my
too.
field, you see.
I used to be a support worker with kids in crisis, and
Good for you. So you love people. I can see that.
and yeah, I also well, I'm also now experiencing with my Asperger's. I've been calling attention because of it. But yeah, it's things like that when I hear that. I mean, cases. I mean, of that can be researched and discovered,
Yeah.
where you get like an organisation that's actually saying, well, yeah, we're not going to hand over names of 24,000 people. We'd rather protect them and protect our money, because there's also court documents that can be found of decades of payments out of court to victims of child abuse.
You know what? Just listening to yourself and knowing even the things that we've all seen injustice and things that require God's judgment. There's one thing that stands sure here, and that is that we do believe in a God, you and me, yeah? Do you? Do you believe in Jehovah?
I actually, because of things I've seen,
Yeah.
I've actually become a pagan.
Have you?
I believe I don't trust men.
Yeah.
All
Um,
right. That's understandable.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
have, because said the hypocrisy I've seen, and even in the organisation when I was in it,
Yeah.
there's hypocrisy. There's
Of course it
not
is.
being allowed to look at other things. That
Yeah.
being called apostate when you disagree, and
Right.
see that's the whole thing that affects me with the
Sure. Yeah.
with being a part, and especially with the witnesses, is that you're not allowed to look at things that criticise the organisation. You know what you basically what the governing body says is gospel.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to push that aside, acknowledging everything you've said, just to get back to, all right, here's all of us, and let's face it, humankind, the whole lot of us, we're in a mess. But that aside, what about Jehovah himself? Do you think there is a God when you look around at things above us? Do you reckon?
oh, I believe there's a high power.
You do? Yeah.
But my photography shows me that.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Yeah. What
it's-
do you reckon about him? Let's go to him and push all of us aside for a second.
Well, see, my issue is not with him. My issue is with people who
Yeah.
claim to be, who say that they're his organisation,
Yeah, yeah.
and yet everything is shown that with what they do, with what they say, would not be his standard. And also the fact that there are people that say they are his organisation, when the only one who can actually decide that is him himself.
Of course, I so agree with you.
So
I'm actually myself, if I was to describe myself, absolutely have the utmost confidence in Jehovah himself. He's what's keeping who is what keeps me going. The Creator.
it might be part of an organisation if it's him that keeps going, because this is my viewpoint, is when you're part of an organisation, you've got the hierarchy. So you basically you're listening to men and how, because you can get people of different faiths, of course, who look at the same passage
Sure.
and can all have valid arguments and valid
Sure.
reasons. So, you know,
You know why I do? Is because when I look at humankind, we are all part of a society in all of its fractions which are accountable and imperfect and sinful and making mistakes. Our governments do, every vestige is in a mess. But what I found, I do believe the scriptures, and I do believe we're living in the last days, and I do believe that God, in all his justice, would want me to be out here talking to people about his word, and the best forum that I have found for that is what uses the Bible the most, and that's the Bible. I can sit down and study with someone straight from the scriptures, push everything else aside. But this organisation here does believe in teaching the Bible globally, and for that reason, I believe that that is what Jehovah wants for our time, the last days.
Interestingly enough, there's a few things that show that it really doesn't
totally use the Bible or his Bible factually, or I'm not sure what the wording, like the term
Do you
apostate.
believe in the Bible, mate?
I,
Is the word of God?
I believe in all the holy books because,
Yeah.
quite frankly, I mean, they all teach the same message. I was a Muslim for a while.
Yeah.
You sound confused.
No, I am not so much confused. I don't trust men.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
Daryl anyway. I didn't catch your name.
John,
John.
I
Nice to meet you.
yeah,
You sound confused, John, because you can't tell me that you've looked at all the holy books and they all say the same thing. That just doesn't make sense,
no,
mate.
it's not the wording. It's not the same. The message is the same behind all of them. They all teach the same message.
That's
Uh,
a very broad way of
well,
looking at it.
See, I believe Jesus, he did not teach doctrine. When we listen to men, we listen to doctrine. What witnesses do, Catholics, Muslims, Hindus, whatever, it's all based on doctrine. The essence of the teachings, Christ did not teach from books. He taught from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. He taught
So-
principles.
Yeah, so he taught the essence of the proper worship. He taught about love,
But he
empathy,
still obeyed
compassion.
God's laws. You can't deny that God has laws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he also followed the essence of the law.
absolutely.
And which was to worship and to love others.
So you made a comment before. You said something about you like LBGT.
I support him totally because
So what? See what you're saying there is needs more explanation, because you appreciate that the Bible says that the act of homosexuality is unacceptable or not.
way I see it, well, it actually okay.
No, it's a simple. That's
Yeah,
a pretty
yeah.
simple thing.
Well,
Either you agree that
that's the
Bible
Hebrew
says that-
scriptures. That's the Jewish law. It's
No,
not Christian.
no, it's a
Jesus
Christian.
didn't.
It's a
Jesus
Christian
didn't
as
teach
well.
that.
Yes, he did.
No, he did.
Well, the
Did,
Christian congregation didn't.
did he actually mention homosexuality?
But he didn't say to have anything against the people, did he? It was the act.
Now the interesting
There's
thing
nothing
is,
wrong with the people. See, there's a big difference.
yet, well, if it was really that bad, if he really hated the act that bad, why was he willing to allow Sodom and Gomorrah to survive if just 10 righteous people were to be found? So he's willing to let thousands.
So once again, I say to you, you seem confused, John.
No, not confused.
You've come to a conclusion. You've come to a conclusion, and you're welcome to that. We never try to make people believe what we want, as you should know.
Until you're in there, and then you've got no choice.
Well, you've got a choice. You're not doing it. So how can you say you've got no choice?
Well, see, what happens is, Royal Commission even found it. The act of the witness thing of shunning, calling people apostates who
which is
leave,
biblical.
and yet how that actually stops people from.
From infecting others.
No, actually, it's not infection
Yeah.
because you're not allowed to have your own thoughts.
No, the scriptures encourage us to use our power of reason.
Then what the power of reasoning actually says that what is being done or said is wrong. I'm using my power of reasoning, where shunning, and even the ARC found it, will actually prevent people from seeking help. It actually mentally and emotionally affect them when they're abused.
John, I read that report
So did I.
and I understand that what you're saying is that certain things can be contributors, but that is not quite the context. I'll give you, for instance, society, our society, yours and mine, this country, is based on that principle, and it's called our prison system. What it holds to be true is that when there are human beings who are dangerous to others and who act outside the guidelines of a society reserves the right to take those humans, those individuals, and remove them from society, and our prison is proof of that.
What does that have to do
The
with?
Christian congregation holds the same principle.
They don't.
They
Yes, they
do.
do.
You know
That is
how I know
what
that?
this
How
fellowshipping
do
is
you know
about.
that, John?
This is how I know. During the ARC, since 1950, 1006 that have at least been put down on paper, reported instances of abuse, okay, in congregations. 579 of those were admitted. The person actually admitted they did it. Not one was reported to the police. Not one. Not one was reported to the congregations. Not one was reported to the community if the person was fellowshipped. How is that a Christian thing?
Yeah.
When it also affects, and and society even
maybe.
admitted it.
So that,
Yeah.
I'm sort of
No,
I'm a little
actually-
confused there because you're talking about shunning not being okay, and then you're saying that it should be.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it should be okay at all.
You're asking
To-
why
to
they
victims.
weren't. Is that right?
No, that's
Victims-
got nothing to do with
victims
shunning.
shouldn't be shunned.
No, they're
That's-
not. It's not talking about shunning. It's talking about the victims being shunned,
Yeah.
whereas the perpetrators are actually protected by the congregations.
Yeah, well, I can say that as I'm speaking to you right now, that does not happen.
Really, because
I'm not saying that in the past things
oh, it still
haven't
does.
needed
You still hear
improvement.
about it. It's
That
just
is,
it.
that is not,
By-
put it this way, the protocol, the guidelines of the congregations is
No.
not that, mate.
Well, the now you get online now the elders book, Chapter Block of God. You can actually get that online now because there are elders that actually
You could get that online 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
no,
Yes, you could.
Not
It was
the most recent one.
It was the first thing I ever saw on the internet.
not the most recent one, 2015, 2015-16. And the fact that it actually says in the book that you're not supposed to, people aren't really supposed to see it. Then you have the letters that are actually also given out to the elders, talking about how to handle abuse allegations.
And what is it that's so abhorrent in there that you find so abhorrent?
The fact that there's more concern over the image of the congregation.
So I'll tell you right now, you're wrong.
Oh, really?
Because I get the official book, letters, previous book,
So everything
and
that
I know exactly what's in there. So you
What-
you can say what you want, John, but you are wrong.
so
So whatever you've read
Yeah.
is lying to you because I know.
so I'm supposed to believe someone who's actually
No, you
in the
can-
organisation.
no,
you,
you
you're
can-
calling, you're saying
no,
that I'm
John.
lying,
You can believe what you want. I'm saying to you, you're not right, John.
and yet so you're calling me a liar because I'm saying that this is what has been given by elders
saying I've
and even
read
by
what
the
you're-
organisation.
I'm saying what you've read and what you're telling me I have is not what I have.
Well, you
so
cla-
you're wrong.
You claim you claimed you could get the book 10, 15 years ago,
20 years ago.
and yet it's
on the
changed
internet.
several times. It's changed a few times since then.
It's actually
for the
only-
editions.
It's updated once.
From what I understand, it's been at least a couple of times.
John,
So John, this is
if
what
I
I'm
may,
saying to
just-
you is
if I-
you're telling me what you think you know. I'm telling you
Yeah.
what reality is. But
No.
you can believe what you want, mate.
What
I-
reality
John.
is for you, reality is the governing body is doing things
John,
right.
John, have you got all those letters?
Nobody's
Get them easily online. They're-
Yeah, from who?
Yeah, I believe.
But
you
actually,
know
from the
what-
governing body,
Where do you get
they're
the book?
actually governing body even during the RSC.
You see, I've been actually given the original, official book and letters, and I'm telling you
Oh,
that what
interesting.
you're telling me is not the case.
Yeah, see, no one's saying that you're lying, John.
Well, in fact, it's-
No, really. Look, I think I
Sarah
believe.
Spurgeon, mate.
No.
really? Did you just try to use my?
No, you said to me you're a
Yeah,
Spurgeon.
but you
Yeah,
just
but
said
that's
it's George
not right.
Spurgeon, mate.
No, John.
Did you actually just like try to what's it?
Because I said to you,
Mock
because
my
I s-
condition.
No, I'm not mocking you at all.
Yeah, it's George
John.
Spurgeon, mate.
John.
Come on.
John.
I'm not
I
mocking
can't-
you at all, John.
I copped this. Actually, this is the attitude
John,
I
I'm
got.
not mocking you at
This
all.
is the attitude I copped in Maroochydore at the beginning of the year when I
John.
went up to a cart and I actually asked the guy the opinion. How do you feel about the governing body, the organisation, paying $4,000 a day to hide the names of child abuse. Court order, which was, you're supposed to follow the laws of the land and that, but actually actively not handing the names over. Willing to pay $2 million so far. How do you feel about the governing body protecting pedophiles like that, the names of pedophiles? The attitude I got from him, and it's actually online now, that 4,000 or 5,000 people have viewed it, he actually was like you. He actually said that, you know, talked about my Asperger's, called me a bludger, did this to me, called me a liar. Attitude was really bad, and when I went the next day to a cart and asked, how do I report this guy, because he was nasty as. I mean, he was really, really vile.
Yeah.
They ignored me, walked off, and it got to the stage where as soon as they see me, they just take off, won't talk to me.
Look, John.
So,
lady, can we just engage for a minute?
Well-
Please, could you? You mind?
well,
if I-
I've got, you know,
I
the way he
know.
just
Let's
but
let's
that's not
just-
very Christian, is it?
I
Let's just-
appreciate that
let's
you've
just-
got your things to say, but you don't like to hear anyone else.
I know. I mean, I've heard the same thing. I hear the standard kind of thing.
We can focus on negativity, but look, I really would like to just let you know,
The child abuse, it's very negative. It's being
Yeah.
covered up.
John.
People suffering,
John.
kids suffering because
I've
it's
heard
been
you,
covered
mate.
up.
Can you just engage with me for a minute, because you know what you're trying to express to me is your sense of injustice, right?
Which that this
Yeah.
organised, and it's even,
But listen, you've mentioned that between us, and I accept.
and that's what
you're
I'm
saying.
focusing on. That's what I want to
Yeah,
talk about.
Yeah,
because
but
that's
listen,
what affects me the most.
Listen, you and I, we both feel strongly that way, and we've chosen our own pathway to deal with it. Okay.
Hey, but you're not dealing
Yeah,
with
but
it. You're part of an
listen,
organisation that
the
does it.
No, but pushing all that aside, between you and me,
You can't push it
let's
aside.
let's both of us acknowledge that we both really care about people, right? You and me both, right? I'll accept everything that you have seen and feel, and that you've strongly made a stand on. But let's find a commonality between us right now, and this is where we're going to move forward, you and me.
Yeah, well,
Please.
where's the commonality when
The
you are?
commonality is that we both believe in a higher power here, and he's going to judge
Yeah,
this.
but that's not what I'm talking to. I'm talking to you because of the injustice in an organisation that you are a part of,
Yeah.
that has been nothing but criticised by government organisations
Yeah,
for
I know.
not acknowledging.
But I'm not
what's happening.
silly either, matey. I'm not silly.
Then why are you a
Hey,
part of such an organisation?
Because I actually do know that a lot of the information I've looked into as well isn't saying what you're saying.
That's, and
see,
what, so
that's
you
the
actually look at
difference.
apostate sites because that's where facts are. I'd be
I-
classed as an apostate.
I am
for sure.
I am dutifully bound to be very informed, mate.
But you
And
can't
so-
go to sites of former witnesses. You can't look at what they show,
But
what they say.
You
So,
obviously stand on the principle
But-
that all humans should be respected.
But
And
how-
so let's start here between
No.
you and me.
How-
Contract it now, mate.
No.
Excuse me.
Contract
how
it now.
do you
Contract it now, mate.
how
Contract
do
it,
no, please
matey.
don't. That's not very
No,
Christian talking
no,
over someone.
and it,
Very
neither you
Christian
doing it
either,
to
John.
me.
I'm not a Christian. I'm a
No,
pagan.
and we don't have to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Gee, that's not very Christian,
Yes,
is it?
it is.
Yeah,
Nah.
so we are going to have to go because our schedule's finished.
Actually, I spoke to a couple of ladies a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wonderful ladies. I didn't record them.
Yeah.
So, because it's interesting, and the fact is that this is the only organisation that doesn't, that has not admitted the issues it has.
That's not what the government said though, mate. Hey, is it?
Yeah, it actually.
Hey, the government actually, you need. I've read it too. Hey, you and me both, all right? So all that having been said,
It's been totally
between you and
criticised.
me, let's have respect for what we have in common, and we can build on that one.
Except
if I come
I
across
can't.
you again.
But I feel no respect for people who are
I
happy
appreciate
to
that.
be in an organisation.
Having said that,
You're
it's been
defending the organisation.
John, it's a pleasure meeting you, mate. Have a good day and
Yeah.
enjoy your photography. Hey?
I know it's not really a pleasure.
All right.
Yeah,
no,
lovely.
actually, all the best, hey?
But this is a regular thing, so I'll be chatting more. hopefully.
Yeah, I
Some
hope
nice
we
people.
do.
There are some nice people,
Yeah, thanks.
but that dude, not much of an elder. Don't like the attitude. Okay, 3-5 minutes. Lady, she is just standard. But the elder, oh boy, bit of attitude there. So there you go. Been a while. Deception Bay witnesses. Met a couple of nice ones a couple of weeks ago, but now, well, what can I say? The elder telling me I was wrong, and I am a bit rusty. I admit that. Been a while since I've had the chat. She's doing the standard what she was taught by the looks of it, minimising and trying to be polite and nice. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's been a while. I know it's been a while, but yeah, I've been all over the place. So, car crash, Deception Bay. The sad date or whatever the date. Anyway, take care all, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you more around.